Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Sadie and today is Friday, June 6th of 2025. If you are new here, welcome. This is a channel that is specific for cross stitch, and for anyone returning, thank you. I hope that you have had a good month so far and a good beginning of June. I have a couple of things. I know you see in my background, I've got something exciting and I will show that off a little bit closer. But we've got some projects. I worked on a decent amount of whips this time. I think I started 2 projects and like I said, got some whips, this beautiful FFO, and a smidge of haul. So let's get in. I will bring out my lovely FFO morning musings. This one I did, we're gonna pretend. I framed it myself. I got this pretty thing, either in Home Goods or Michael's. It was originally for the winter sale that I did for Autumn Lane Stitchery, but it did not fit. So it's just been sitting there, and I really liked how Lindy Stitches did their finish. It kind of looks similar to this, where it seemed like it was a 3D setup, where having a decorated mat and then having the picture on top. So I just got some, not like cardstock, but like scrapbook paper, that really big paper. I've had some in stock. Felt like this was a good color for the background. And then I just got some foam board that I then laced to the project. So don't try to look too closely, but kind of somewhere around here. And then I just put some tape, some clear tape. I probably have some around here. And tape this on, because I don't know if anytime in the future I may change it, or I may want to have it a little bit nicer framed, or maybe I'm not going to like the back, but ultimately I do want to bring this one to work and have it hang at work. And it's got the prongs to be able to hang. It's also got this for a stand. But this is it. So it is on a fox and rabbit. It's like a hot pink, but I don't know the name of it because I got it at the retreat in Australia. And then the colors that I got, the majority of them were conversions from DMC. The only 2 that I kept were the pears. That was a pepperoncini. It was like a variegated greenish yellow. And the other one was a curry. And that was for more of the yellow. You can see the yellow on the trees, that star. But I thought this fabric did such a great job at making these colors stand out. And I like it. I am planning to bring it to work and having it there so that I can look at, especially for any tough days. Just kind of being like, we're all here to try to do something good. So that is my FFO. I'm happy. I can say I have one. And now I'm just going to grab around me. I've got my projects around and I'll start showing them to you. So I'll show you my start. This one I'm doing for a friend. It is Endorphine. This one is by Twin Peak Primitives. Sorry, I got it. Designed by Nurse and Camber. And I thought it was beyond adorable. Like, I saw this and I immediately thought of this person. Just a bottle full of dogs. I believe there is another one that is a bottle full of cats. So if you're a cat person, you can go snag that. But the dogs just reminded me a lot of this person, and I wanted to stitch it for them. They're like the type where they would happily live in a dog shelter. So this seemed very appropriate. This is my start. I essentially got half of 2 dogs in. I started in the middle, got that middle dog in, and then got the side one. For a second, I was a little bit nervous because at this point, that light beige is kind of ghosting on the side of the dog, but they're going to be surrounded by blue from the bottle. So this is going to be a non-issue very soon. And I was a bit surprised at how I only worked on this for a day, like I think for an hour and a half. And I was kind of surprised at how fast these 2 dogs were stitching up. So I think with the variety of the dogs, because there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them, it'll likely pass by fast. I'll probably be get a little bit of a slog with the blue around. But hoping to get that done by the end of the month. That's the goal, end of the month. Alrighty. And then the other one that I'm really happy I actually got a lot of progress on is Stone Roses. This is one of my Mirabilias. I've probably got a few going right now. And this is one of her older projects. It was designed in 1995. And I absolutely enjoy her. Granted, she is a lot of white and beige, but I love the look of her being very statuesque. And you guys have heard me comment where I am a middle starter, and the middle of this project was her feet. So I had to start there, and that's where I've been working. So without further ado, let me show you. This is one that is on this is the 28 count Chloris Opal Linen. I always have to read them because I always forget their details. And I've got plenty of stray lines in. But I have her on this beautifully rainbow fabric. I will stand up and see. So, if I stand back, this is how big it is. So, right, that's the top there. That's what I've got. And if I get closer, I feel like I got a lot of work done on her. This to me reminds me, I mentioned before that I feel like I'm kind of in a snail shell where I start in the middle and then I just go in circles, filling in each of those shades like a ring around and further out. I am finally at the edge of the pattern. So this is already one edge. That's the other edge. So that's as far as she's going statue-wise, and then now I have to decide whether I'm going to go up or down. At this time, with the rhythm that I've gotten, I'm working down over her statue. So I'll try to be cognizant, right? Kind of keep this and bring up the pattern. So I am planning to work down here to just get the rest of this cloth around her, and then from there I'm gonna start working up on her. Does that mean I'm gonna be leaving these rows last? Likely, yes. We will see how dedicated I am, because who knows, maybe it'll be a good thing that I will have her completely stitched, and it'll motivate me to complete the other 3 areas further, or it may do the opposite. This one's also very interesting because over here, if I can show you, these areas, these are real buttons. That's a button and that's a button. And then these white things are real white ribbons that were either glued or sewed on. I'm going to assume sewed on in this model. So there are 3 white ribbons done that way. Like I said, it's kind of unique. I usually am one that I like to stick to the pattern, so I'll likely do that. We will see how it goes. But yes, this is Stone Roses. And my goal the goal that I put in January was to get her done. Get her done in October, because that's when the Mirabilia retreat with the Queen City Stitch retreat gang is. It is a very lofty, likely not realistic goal, but that is how I dream. I am a dreamer, and I will attempt to reach those lofty goals, because if I don't reach it, I will still have made amazing progress. And if I do reach it, then that is amazing. All right. Those were in that section. Now we're going to move my eyesight here. The other two that I worked on to finish off Mermaid, I worked on Beauty and the Beast by Online Stitchery. Oop. Let's see where you are. This is the copy. And it's one of those where you don't realize how big or how much stitching there is until you're in it. And this is another one that I felt like over the weekend I got a good amount of progress on. And this is on 28 count linen mystery by Oak Crown Studios. And this is all of it. And then this is where I am. Just gonna... It is much easier for me to stand up and show you with this setup. That is her. And really the area that I worked on this time was over here, getting the rest of the dragon in. And it looks black, but it's actually 939, so that very dark navy blue. But it looks black when put all together. I have been contemplating how I want to continue with her. Right, whether I wanted to continue stitching the dragon up here towards its head, or looks like I've also started a piece to continue the mermaid's tail. So I've got a couple of options. Either I want to go up to get the head, good progress in, go down with the tail. I think, right, the idea of eating your vegetables, doing the stuff that's probably a little bit more time consuming, not as fun. So for me, I would always love to work on the mermaid, but so that I don't burn out, I think it'd be a good idea for me to continue with the dragon. So to continue with the dragon head. And I'll see when's the next time I pull her out. But again, this is one that I have as a 2025 finish. It doesn't look like I'm that close, but again, surprises and miracles always happen. So, worked on her. And I'm putting them away as I go so that I don't forget. And it's not a big mess when I come out. And then the next one that shares the bag with Beauty and the Beast is Shake Senora. And that's where the other finish that I have is very like Halloween related. And I was in a Halloween spooky mood. So I'm one where I think Halloween and like witchy stuff is an all year round thing. So do not be surprised if you see witchy horror things come up throughout the year. I don't just save it for fall. But this is the progress that I have. Really what I did was the stairs. This is where a lot of that full coverage is. It's the railings of the stairs. You could probably barely see it. There we go. Where the white is the railing, the yellow is that spotlight that is present. Oh, on Winona Ryder. Give me a second. I'll remember their name. But, yep. I got in the top blue part of her skirt. And I started working on the navy stuff. So I'm glad that she's showing her form. And the stairs are getting done. Little spider got its eyes. And this is working on a window that is present in the pattern. But I'm excited. I love Beetlejuice. So I really want to get her done. Okie dokes. On to the next bag. This one has my new start. And it also has the May finish for Stitch for Pride. So I'll show the finish first. We also got the new June pattern that I absolutely love. But I'm waiting on the mystery thread pack from Night Stalker's Calling for June. because those colors are based off of pride flags, and I did want to dedicate one of those colors, whichever one I feel goes with the June pattern. So I'm waiting on that patiently. But here is May's motif. So beautiful. This was based off of, I'm gonna hopefully not butcher, but Chevalier. And they were a trans female and very like a spy working with, I believe, the King of France to spy out in Russia, and it sounded like very big drama, a lot of drama out there that they were involved in back then. The color itself, it's variegated floss. It is Wildflowers by Night Stalker Calling. They've been coming out with some really good colors that I felt represented all of my motifs. I mean, the top one here, Elagabalus, was Pirate and Robin Spiderweb. The bottom one for Hatshepsut was, I think it was like Lagoon, but from Karen Water Lilies. Or Bermuda. It was Bermuda Reef. And then these other three were from Night Stalker's Calling. Like, they've been getting it down pat. So I'm really loving how these are all looking. And I can't wait to add on June's motif to them. I've been really happy with being able to keep up with them. They are not so big that they feel daunting. That's been a great thing. All right, and then my start that I have here, I'm going to try to not make a mess because there already was in this bag, is Witchcraft by the Primitive Hare. So, this is the first pattern I bought of Primitive Hare, and it was back at my LNS in Ohio. And their LNS is very, like, kind of Americana, primitive, but I saw this and it is definitely up my alley, very witch vibes, and I immediately bought it. But I've been waiting for like the right fabric, right ideas on how to stitch it up, and so I found this fabric, and it's by, I want to say this is Fabric Flare. This is a Fabric Flare. I am really glad that they have it. It's a printed fabric, if you guys have not bought from them before. It is an 18 count Aida, and this is October 31st. So it's the idea, right, of essentially a newspaper print with the date October 31st on it. So I'm just going to scroll for the fabric for a bit. Right, it reaches down pretty far. And I was measuring the heck out of this to make sure that the border and that the pattern would fit right in the middle so it can look appropriately aligned when I do frame this to show, right, October 31st and then have the Witchcraft pattern on it. And I picked a really cute purple from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. It is a variegated purple. I will show it here. Give me a second. I'm standing up. And I saved all the tags. Just finding them. Okay. Cool. Doesn't have the name on it. I'll have to find a way to get the name next time. But I got a lot of it because I had a feeling I would need like more than one regular skein. But this is it. And it's just a bunch of beautiful purples. I wanted something that was a bit variegated, not super strong, but enough that would it would make it more interesting. And I think so far it's doing a great job. So I'll bring it back up. So I've got the majority of the pattern is going to be in that purple, but I wanted to keep the moon phases with 310, so with black And then this white is actually glow in the dark white, which I wanted to include, and that is so exciting for me. So I'll try to bring it up here. So, right, all the moon phases are going to be that black with the glow in the dark. All the areas that are white, I'll put the pattern down. It's going to be like the eye, parts of the mandrake. There's a couple of parts in here. Like there's a symbol down there. There's a border here. So those areas will be able to pop. And then I believe everything else, I am okay with it being the purple. Really just wanted those moon phases to be more noticeable with the black. So that is Witchcraft. And I was stitching this in the car. My boyfriend and I were traveling, and immediately I made a mistake that I had to take like 50 stitches out, and I was going at it, and it was the sun was setting, and I'm just like, okay, I cannot stitch today. I'm gonna have to pick this up another day because I'm gonna mess things up. And then he's just like, why did you make the mistake? How do we prevent you from making mistakes in the future? I'm like, that's not a thing. Like, we have a name for it, and it's called frogging because it happens all the time. So as much as we love everyone to prevent this situation from happening, it happens. I just thought it was adorable that he thought it could be a preventable item. And unfortunately, I don't think there is a way to do that. All right. A couple of things. Just had some little tiny bit of haul. It's really threads. My funny story with these is I love ordering from Pirate Robin every once in a while. And these threads I have a project for. Again, it's like a surprise start, not one that I planned for the year. But likely, maybe in September, I'll consider starting it. But I really wanted to get these threads, and I think they're beautiful. But I didn't pay attention because Robin has a lot of the 6-stranded floss, but then they also have like pearl cotton floss, and I somehow did the snafu first time ever with her, where I ordered this thread but as pearl cotton, and when I got it, it was just really thick, and I went, oh no. I was like, no, I ordered the wrong thing. And I messaged her and I said, I'm really sorry, but I ordered these as the wrong type of thread. I am more than happy to send it back and just, and like, you didn't have to comp me for me shipping them back. I just want to switch out the threads. So she was wonderful enough to do that. She was like, it happens. It's okay. So I got these threads back, and it is a beautiful equinox. And I am in love with them. So cute. So that was my happy mail. And I was really happy that she was able to change that. And then I also got like a little bit of mail, and I'm tying it with cross stitch, where I really love this show. Probably depends on who the guardians and who people are, but it's kind of a semi-inappropriate short. But I love the art and I love the designer. And it's Has Been Hotel that is out on Prime Video. And then the other series that this person has on YouTube is Hell of a Boss. So anyway, they've got merchandise. I love them. My sister was great enough to get me socks from them, which I thought was weird because at the same time I bought merch from them as well. So I got the box and I was like, I didn't order this, but I saw her name on it and she sent it to me and it was super cute. So they have different cartoons, and I saw these because it kind of reminded me of some of those friendship bracelets people are making. But I want to turn them into like little keychains or scissor fobs that I can put either on my project bags or on my scissors. So these were the different bracelets that came. And they're bracelets of each of the characters. So each one is a different character. And I was planning to go out to Michael's because I want to make them a little more fancy, where they have some of kind of a little bit more of a fancy design on the scissors. I'm looking here because these are scissor fobs. There are some people that on retreats would just give them for free. So right, so like this is one of them, and I think it's just really cute having all these different dimensions. So I'm hoping I can find some of these types of items, put them together with the names that are of the characters, and make my own scissor fob keychain things to have with my projects. So that is those. And then my sister was cute enough to get me some socks. I love socks. And they're of the characters. So these are 2 characters from the series. So that's that haul. All right. And then plans. The big one, because June is my birthday month, is good old Baroque Gardens by Chatelaine. I have seen this. I was first introduced to this pattern 2 years ago. And it was when I started getting introduced with Chatelaine in general. I started seeing people stitch this on Instagram, show pictures of it, of all the different mandalas. And I went on their website to look at all the different versions. And I was personally intimidated by the mandalas because I don't feel like I can stitch the same thing 4 times. And that to me is what a mandala is. It's just a repeat pattern that goes over and over. But when I saw Chatelaine's, like there's enough variety that it would keep me interested. And so I was looking through and I literally saw this one. Before anyone was before I was hearing anyone do the hype, like the chatting about how big this is. And I am the type where I will kind of do go big or go home. Mind you, that's separate from full coverage. That will be another beast that I will consider starting on another time. But I saw Baroque Garden, absolutely liked it, wanted it. There is a similar pattern to it that is that same vertical concept of a different castle, different gardens, but I loved the look of the Baroque one. And I bought it. I already made the project back for it, again, 2 years ago. I kitted it up, and I was mainly waiting on a fabric, and I found the one that I think will look good with it. Got the beads, and then it was just waiting for the right time. And no time is the right time. Every time is the right time, but June being my birthday month, I said June is going to be the time that I start it. And I will likely probably put in the first few stitches tonight. So I'm really excited to share this experience with you. So without further ado, this is my Baroque Garden project bag. And on the back, I had to put something fancy, cute waterfall. And I really went to town with this one, with including like frilly lace to it. And on the inside is actually some mermaids from Alexander Henry. He's a designer that currently their fabrics are out of print. And I just happened to had the fabric like over 5 years ago and got to get it. So I'm leaving all the DMC in there, but just to show you, they're all again very like Baroque or more Rococo type mermaids, and I am absolutely loving it. So this was a very appropriate bag for Baroque Gardens. I've got I got the majority of the fancy flosses here. I got so excited. I got an Excel sheet, wrote down all the fancy flosses, what Martina on the project said could potentially get transitioned with DMC. And I compared the DMC with the color, like online, and if it looked too variegated, I was like, nope, I have to get the fancy floss, versus if it wasn't that variegated, then I kept the DMC. Right, trying to be as cost effective as I could with a Chatelaine, which is still pricey as ever. These were the beautiful beads that went with them. I was so happy to get them. And then the fabric that I got, I didn't just want like a white fabric. I wanted something a smidge modeled, something that kind of looked like the sky or like grass, but not overwhelm the motifs in this project because there is a decent amount of blues and greens. So I found this one and I thought it was perfect. This is a Atomic Ranch called Frieze, Frieze. It is a, oh geez. And then I look at it and I go, Garita, what are you doing? It's a 28 count linen and it is a big piece. I did like all the measurements. I wanted it on another fabric. I tried to swing it, right? Like a half yard or something. I don't know, whatever. And this was the appropriate size. So I made sure that I can give myself some margins because this bad boy for sure will get professionally framed. So I will stand up and show you. This, I think, is a very beautiful piece for the project. It's a very, how do I say? I'm going to try to look at it. They are shades of light blues, blue-green with some beigey pink. It's almost like a blush with some blue. And I thought this was great to be able to use on this project. And I do plan to start it top, middle, down, which means I would be starting it with the castle. And I am here for it. I feel like I am officially ready, and this will be the first Chatelaine mandala that I ever start, of course. We will see how it goes. I am going to be like praying and doing incense to the cross-stitch gods that no major frogging happens. We will see how that goes. So that is I'm going to start tonight. Plans for the month. I will be looking out for the threads from Night Stalker's Calling so that I can finish the June motif for Stitch for Pride. I am going to definitely do my best to finish Endorphine by the end of the month, to also finish Tea Time. I haven't finished it yet, so I need to get that one done. I also had another motif that I wanted to do for a friend. So these are people that going on to bigger and better things. And this person lives in Canada. And I was kind of thinking, do I want to go funny with like a funny small cross stitch or a semi-serious small cross stitch? I'm going with the funny one. So I'll show that once I get it and start it. And then trying to think. I think I'll still work on Stone Roses. It's kind of been the one that I've been trucking with. And in general, because it is June, and I think slowly some mid-year whip parades are coming out, I may be doing a special next week of my whip parades. I've got a lot. I think I passed the 20 mark, which I didn't think I would ever pass the 20 mark, and here we are. Never say never, right? We will see what happens. So I'm thinking that'll be a special for next week. I will do a mid-year whip parade. I'm thinking about it now, and I unfortunately probably won't be able to do all of the mid-year whip parade because I just sent some project bags with my boyfriend because they're having a family cabin trip, and that's in a couple weeks. And to try to minimize like the amount of stuff that I'm going to bring to the retreat, I sent some project bags with him. I think we can still do it with those. Or would you rather wait until I had all of them? I'm kind of feeling like I want to have all of them. I know. So, we'll see. Because if we'd rather have like truly all of them for a good rip parade, that'll be 3 weeks from now, which is okay. And in 2 weeks, I will actually be at the cabin trip. It's going to be back in Ohio. So that may be just a nice one where you get to see me out in a cabin doing a whip parade. Because I sent him with 3 project bags that have probably 2 projects each. And I'm likely going to bring 2 more project bags. So that's almost like a wood parade anyway. So you will get to see some more projects in a couple weeks. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed my projects today. And I hope you have a good start to the month and that it's getting warmer for you guys and you get to be outside. All right. Have a good night. Bye.